Luther Kinsey with Team F-Line Sports, and I am sitting down with the newly announced Coach Kevin Saunders. He will be your 2019 and beyond football coach for Gilmer High School program, replacing Coach Casey Wingard. Coach, congratulations. School board voted unanimous, which we always like to see. I guess to get started, can you tell me a little bit about your previous coaching history and how long you've been coaching, things of that nature?
All right. Well, I've been coaching probably over 30 years total. I've been a head coach last, I think it's 26, 27 years. Been fortunate to have been fairly successful in the jobs that I've had. I've had a reputation of taking over some really bad teams and turning them into much better teams and winning teams. This job appealed to me very much so for the fact that I can have my stepson Spencer wants to play for me, and it gets me in a different place of living than what I am in a little bit smaller school. I've coached 7A football here in Georgia the last 4 years and been fortunate to make the playoffs 3 out of those 4 years, but you know, you're not in 7A football, you're not on the same level playing field with the big guys. And so when you play Colquitt County first round of the playoffs, or you play Hillgrove and those guys, it's a little different. But I'm looking forward to this, and I have a very good understanding what this program's been through. I feel pretty good that we can get it turned around. It's not going to happen overnight. It's a process, and it'll take some time, but there'll be vast improvements from game 1 to game 2, which will be the biggest improvements we'll see when the season starts.
Well, coming in as a new coach, and of course, the Bobcats have in the past had a rich history of their football and played very well on the field and made it to playoffs. The task is to rebuild, and normally in a situation where the Bobcats have been in, you have players or guys that can play that are not coming out for football. How do you plan to recruit in the hallways to get possibly those athletes that's not playing out to the field?
Well, it's when you knew, that'll inspire some of them to want to come out, because when you have something old and it stays the same, you lose. I think in the last 4 years, at 4-36, if I'm not mistaken, over the last 4 years, and have lost 30-some straight. So to me, that's in the past and doesn't matter. So my thing is, we're going to beat the halls and get them out there, and I give everybody a chance to play. That's one thing I think every kid that's ever played for me loves playing for me. I always have. I'm going to put the kids in the right spot to make the team better. I'm going to give every kid a chance to play. I try to play as many kids as I can. If we can go 2 platoon, we'll go 2 platoon. If I got it, the same 11's got to play offense, got to play defense, we're going to do that. We're going to do what's best for the program. And I think the kids will understand that, and I feel sure that the kids will come out. It might not happen the first year, but they'll eventually start filtering through. And they're going to see me around, and I'm going to ask them and that kind of thing. So we're going to beat the bushes and go from there.
And reading some history on you, I noticed that you are very, very firm in your belief in off-season workouts in the weight room and just strength and conditioning. What type of procedures do you do that? I mean, is it strictly weight room? Is it, getting the guys together on a Saturday for, running? Do you require them? Some coaches that I've met in the past let them run cross country for their endurance and things of that nature. What type of plans do you have for that?
Well, I want all my kids to play as many sports as they can, because they're only young ones. And I don't have I was probably a much better baseball player than I was football player. I was just very aggressive in football. I love baseball. My son, who's now graduated from college stuff, he's a college baseball player. So my whole thing is, I want the kids to play as many sports as they can. I'll get them in the weight room. We'll get them in the weight room during the school day. My weight room is about making them better athletes, not just making them better football players. We're going to make them better athletes. They're going to learn to run. They're going to learn to get faster, and they're going to get stronger. And I feel really good about what I've done in the weight room everywhere I've been. It's one of the biggest keys to us. It'll take a little bit, but we'll eventually get to the point where we won't get pushed around. And that's one of the things that, that I know we can do. Weight room's it's very important that we teach them to stretch and run and lift. And I have a very good plan, and I have some people that are going to help me get this done. And it should be a very good situation for the kids for all sports, and it's going to help them with all the sports. And that's what I've done everywhere I've been.
All right. Well, when you have a date set to meet with the team?
I'm going to meet with them tomorrow, and then I'm going to get with the coaches some tomorrow and go over some things and decide which coaches fit in best with what I'm going to do, and then I'll go from there. But I'll get with the kids tomorrow and let them know what's going on and what's expected of them. It's probably more than what they've done in the past, but you know, you got to crawl before you can walk, and you got to walk before you run, and you got to run before you sprint. And I'm very structured and I don't skip many things along the process, and they'll figure that out, and they'll be very comfortable with what's going on.
Okay. Well, you mentioned meeting with the coaching staff tomorrow. Do you have options ahead of you that, of course, obviously to keep some of the staff here if they do fall into your format that you're
Yeah,
going to bring?
I can keep some of them and bring some in. I feel comfortable with. I've had a lot of people that want to come with me, guys that I've coached with in the past, are very much wanting to join my staff. I have one on the staff at Pebblebrook that wants to come. And I got a few others that I've met through speaking at coaching clinics and stuff that would really like to be here. So the staff is going to be probably the best staff that they've seen here in a very long time.
How long do you think that will take you to get in place? I know
well, a lot of it's
differs.
with the schools, yeah, and a lot of them be here once spring ball gets here and that kind of thing. But the majority of them will be here when the summer starts, and most of them are still under contract. I got a couple of them that are head coaches that want to come be an assistant coach with me, so I feel really good about that.
Okay. Speaking of your past schools that you've coached at, and some of the coaches are willing to come. Coming out of you've coached in Virginia, coached in Kentucky, and of course at Cross Keys as a temporary position there, and then of course at Pebblebrook. In building those programs, looking at the records across the board, looks 158, 84, and 2 in your career. That's very impressive. Very impressive. What is your highlight of your coaching career up to this point?
Well, of course, winning a state championship was great, professionally and all that. I took a team the year before that we probably should have won the state championship, and we didn't. And then the next year I took a team that probably shouldn't have won a state championship, and we did. So that was very rewarding. But I've had a bunch of them in my career. One was coaching at William Campbell, playing against Amherst, who won the 4A state championship that year. We had 237 kids in the school, and they were about 70 on the team. And we went 10-0 that year and beat them on a 2-point conversion, 21-20. And that was a great night. One of the coaches that was with me is an assistant at River Ridge right now that was on that staff with me. And there's quite a few. My son playing for me in the state semifinals, and then in the state championship game that we lost. He had a great game. And all those, majority of them, I've been coaching long enough to know that I've never won a game. My players have won the games, and I've lost a bunch. But I have yet to win a game myself. That's the kids, and this is all it's about are these kids, and that's 100. Yeah, and that's 100%. I'm 100% for the kids, and always have been. I'm probably a players coach and very strong disciplinarian, but that I've never had a kid not want to play for me in all the years I've been coaching, and I've been doing it a long time, and I've had a bunch of them. That one of them coaches over at Pickens. He's a strength coach over there that played for me in Virginia. He's probably one of the best strength coaches now in Georgia, and he played for me in Virginia. And so, I got these ties in all these places, and I feel pretty good about what we can get done here with this.
Well, you mentioned earlier that your stepson wanted to play. What positions does he play? And
he's played quarterback and safety, and we'll figure out what he can do here. I'm one of these guys that the best player is going to play, whether it's my son, whether it's anybody's, and he knows that, and it's one of the things he likes about. He's been around me enough to know, been around my practices, that it doesn't matter who you are, what grade you're in, how much money you got, where you live, anything. I'm going to play the best kids, and I'm going to play the kids that do right and play the kids I can trust. And that's the way I've always done. That's what has helped me been successful.
Well, once again, Coach, I want to thank you for sitting down with us. Congratulations on your new hire position here as the head coach. Look forward to great things with you and the Gilmer program. And if we can do anything at Team F1 Sports for you, we'd love to be there for you. So if you have anything for us, feel free to call us at any time.
I appreciate it. Go Bobcats.
That's right. Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
You got it.